Yeah, so let me introduce my HOD ma'am and director ma'am,
Yeah,
Dr.
sure.
Amreshwari ma'am. Ma'am, sir have joined ma'am. Jivita ma'am. So few minutes, sir.
Sure, sure, ma'am.
Yes.
Morning, Rohit.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Fine, fine. Good to see you.
Same here.
All set? I think students should
Yes,
be set.
all set. Yeah.
Very nice.
Very good morning, sir.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, sir?
Fine, fine. Very nice.
So ma'am will be joining in few minutes, sir, due to power cut. So the
Yeah, yeah.
generation is going on there. So
No, okay. You're all working from home, ma'am, now these days?
yes, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, great. Right.
We
So,
have
ma'am
regular
is,
classes.
Amla ma'am is joining? Amleshwari ma'am is joining?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Few minutes.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah. No problem, no problem. Please. You let us know whenever you are ready. No problem. Good.
Before we start the session, I request all the students to switch on their video. Yes, so normally we'll start the session.
Yeah, ma'am. A very pleasant morning to all present here. Today, we, the students and faculties of NBA, have gathered here for a guest lecture organized by our School of Management, DG Vaishnav College. DG SOM's placement and training cell always focuses on preparing our students for their role as an MBA in society with an awareness of ethical, environmental, economies, safety, and quality issues. This Cloud Connect 2021 under the theme Designing Your Career Portfolio in association with MMA aims to address our MBA students on the key issues of career prospects in this current dynamic scenario in the field of marketing management, finance, HRM, and SCM on 12th and 13th of May 2021, a virtual meet. We have with us the students of First MBA gathered here to take part in this event. Myself, Unamli Shweta, take immense pleasure in welcoming Captain Dr. Venkatraman, GM MMA, and I would also like to extend my hearty welcome to Mr. Rohit Kashyap, Life and Leadership Coach at Daksha Learning Solutions, to give his thoughtful insights on the topic Marketing as a Career Option. I would now request Captain Dr. Venkatraman to address the gathering.
Good morning, everybody. Special respect to Dr. Amleshwari and special regards to Dr. Logeshwari, who has coordinated the program so well. So special thanks to Mr. Rohit for accepting to do this. So students, I will not take much time. You all have to listen to Rohit Kashyap. He is here to talk to you all today specifically. I just want to thank your college management, Professor Amleshwari in particular, for taking this initiative every year to collaborate with MMA. I'm sure you're all getting a lot of messages and mails from MMA. And, I would want you to attend all the programs that MMA is conducting, because all of us are doing it virtually these days. It will give you a lot of knowledge. Okay, that I can assure you. Even if you attend even 50% of the program that MMA is conducting, because your college is very good, you've got a very good faculty, very good management team, they will help you in as far as your academic curriculum is concerned. But something beyond academic curriculum, when you have to look, you have to attend programs organized by such organizations like MMA. Not only MMA, any such organization. So it's a wonderful opportunity for you all getting the link and all that. Please attend. Today also we are having the founder of Zerodha, Mr. Nitin, talking to us. These days being online, we're able to get some really good guests from outside Chennai to talk to us from all over the world. It's at 6 p.m. in the evening. Like that, there are many events. Some quiz these days until the lockdown is over. I'm sure you will be getting the quiz link in the morning. Try to attend that. Just take 10 minutes. It's a good business quiz. You will learn a lot. So a lot of these events are there. They are all free for all. Please attend. I once again urge all of you, wishing you all the best in all your careers. And this 4-day event that you're organizing is exceptional. They have taken a very good initiative, your department. Please participate in all respects. One thing I was very happy to, when Ms. Logeshwari just now told students, please switch on your video camera. That itself shows that, there is a lot of interest that the department has got. A lot of places, Rohit will agree with me, not only students, even working professionals, when they are attending workshops, people are switching on the camera. And it's always good, it's a good practice to keep the camera on so that the facilitator who's talking to you also knows how the feedback is. So once again, thank the HOD, thank all of you, and wishing you the best in the next 4 days. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, I couldn't join on time. How are you?
I know. Excellent, ma'am. Good to see you. Very nice. I just asked Ms. Logeshwari, madam, she said some power problem is there. Ma'am, good to see you once again.
I had some connectivity issue. I'm in my native right now.
Oh, okay.
How are you? How are you, Rohit?
I'm good, ma'am. It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Rohit, Dr. Amleshwari is the HOD, director of the B School, and she takes a lot of interest in student activities.
Good.
Thank you, madam. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, sir. It's now time to introduce Mr. Rohit Kashyap, who's a sales growth expert, a leadership coach, a sales trainer and coach, a startup mentor, and a business coach. He is a professional salesperson and a passionate trainer with an overall experience of 20+ years in sales, leadership and development, and behavioral training. Mr. Kashyap's engaging and impactful sessions have always spelled dramatic and tangible results for organizations, enabling their people to reach the pinnacle of success. He has expertise in sales process development, sales training, social selling training, sales performance, digital sales, B2B, B2C, and he's a keynote speaker on sales and motivation. On behalf of our Director Ma'am, Dr. U. Amleshwari, and other faculty members, we take immense pleasure in inviting you, sir, and thank you for accepting our invite. We are awaiting to hear your enlightening speech, sir. The stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, DG Vaishnav College. Thank you, Amleshwari ma'am. Thank you, Logeshwari ma'am. Thank you, MMA and Captain Venkatraman, for giving this opportunity to interact with young, vibrating mind whom will be future CEOs. I see some of them as an entrepreneurs, some of them as, you know, future 500 CEOs looking out. So it's always my pleasure to talk to you and discuss with you, because you are the one who are the torch bearers of tomorrow's. And this is the right platform. This is the right time, you know, to start gearing up for tomorrow. And because, you know, there is always all across negativity spread, but if we sparkle a small light which can enlighten all of us and bring some positivity out of this entire thing, that is really good. I'll request somebody to give me a sharing right, because I don't have a right for presentation. Yeah, now I got it. Thank you. So I'll be sharing one presentation. You can just as a small short of presentation. I would have given a lecture also, but presentation gives more look and feel, because you will, what I'm speaking, you can see also. So it's both visual and auditory connect where you can go. So so I'll just quickly move on to the presentation, and then we'll see.
Lokeshwari, who's coordinating the presentation, Lokeshwari?
Ma'am,
The
sir himself can present, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
So if you are able to see my presentation, just you can say yes. Are you able to see the presentation?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir. No, sir.
Just a minute. I don't know why. What happened then? Because I shared my screen. Let me share the. Okay. Now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just wait a minute.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. Wait a minute. It will take time. Now you can see my presentation. Good.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you very much. Okay, welcome all for this program, and especially program on today's session. I'll be discussing you on sales and marketing as a career options. And I was told that yes, this is a time, this is where you will be choosing your different stream to moving on, whether it will be sales and marketing or production or you can finance or supply chain, whatever in future you will be choosing. So today I'll be discussing more on why sales and marketing should be taken as a career than the others. Thank you very much for giving me a pleasure time. So I have divided this session into, you know, two halves. The first half I'll be discussing something on, you know, gearing up yourself for the corporate world and what paradigm shift you have to bring, because as of now you are, you know, college students, your mindset and something is entirely different, but as soon as you step yourself into the corporate world, the things might change differently, and it's completely different, and it will be very dynamic. So what kind of paradigm shift you think that it will be there, that I'll be discussing something on. Then we will discuss something on the reality check, what is going as of now in the current situation. Then we will discuss why to choose sales and marketing as a career, what are the myths about selling, what is not selling, and what about you have to think why sales is more as a career for you in future going. So that's what and then last 10 minutes I'll be dropping you for Q&A session. So if you have any queries, any questions, please drop that time. In between, you can scribble down. If anything comes to your mind, please scribble down, write those questions, write any doubts. At end of the session, 10 minutes we'll be discussing. I hope that is okay with everybody. So let's begin. Let's start. And I hope that you are ready for gearing up for joining this corporate jungle. Now, why I call it a corporate jungle? Because the law of the jungle is survival for the fittest. Now, this statement is always being misinterpreted. The survival for the fittest means who is stronger can survive. No, it's not about the stronger can survive. It's about who is most adaptable. So adaptability is the key in this particular statement. The more you are adapted to the situation, the more you are adapted to an environment, you can survive. So it is not about the strongest and the weakest, it is about the adaptable. And since you have started your journey from school days, now you are in college grads, and tomorrow you will be an executives, and later on you become CEOs and entrepreneur if you start your business and such. It's all about adaptability in different kinds of situations. And if your adaptability is to the mark, your adaptability to the surroundings, you will survive. And that's why I call it always a corporate jungle. And that's what we all love. We want to have a degree, we will go for an interview, and that's what we'll got a job. Now, if you think all this scenario, all things looks to be very easy sort of a thing, 3 steps, tuck. Yeah, it will be there, but reaching to a job is not, should be not your destiny. That should be not the right goal. Maybe some of, maybe having some goal as of now, let me get a job, that will be no. That is just an starting point, friends. Like when you join an a institution like management institutions or a college, they, before that, some people have mind, okay, can I get selected in engineering, some in IIT, some in management, something like that. So that becomes a goal. And then what later on? So same thing when you join a job or when you start your profession, that is just a starting point of your journey. That's a new phase of a journey. And what the shift you have to see, what the things. So the expectations and the reality of the life is something different. I know most of you are now much more learned. There are many things available to learn about these things. But yes, just to give you a glimpse of it, we think that line is a straight line. Life is not about a straight line. It's not expectations. It is not like you go and you start jumping up and up, your graph will go up and up. No, life is like a jumble. It's like a puzzle. The more you puzzle, but yes, end of the day, you see in this puzzle also there is an upward improvement. There is no downward, but it is not a straight line. So one thing you should be clear in your mind, that life is not straight line, it is a jumble, and you have to come out from this puzzle with the flying colors. Most of us thinks as we join corporate, there is a steep ladder and we have to just climb the ladder and start from the front end of the ladder, from the front executive, and we can reach to CEO. Yes, you can reach to CEO in your organization where you work, because that is what corporate is all about. But there is no ladder. Remember, these are, it can sound something harsh, but that's the reality. There is no ladder. The only thing, you have to create your own ladder. There is no ladder, but you have to create your own ladder. You have to create your own steps. Now, how you create a steps, that's up to you. That depends on your credibility. That depends on your skill set. That depends on your will. But if you think that somebody is there who will show you, guide you, yes, till college days, it's amazing. There are people, there are teachers, there are faculties, there are mentors who can guide you. But as soon as you are there in your jungle, I told you it's survival for the fittest. You have to find your mentors. You will not get the mentors, but you have to find the right mentors. All are not so successful getting the right mentors. Getting a right mentor is one of the key things. And it's also not about getting the right mentor. It is about ability of an individual. Like if you see, I always give, love to give the examples of cricket, because we always usually easily associate with ourselves. Guru Achrekar, he is a coach of Sachin Tendulkar. He was also a coach of Vinod Kambli. He was also a coach of Praveen Amre. I do not know how many of you know Praveen Amre or not, but these are all three were the mentees of Guru Achrekar. But what happened at the end? The only one has the flying colors. We all know Sachin Tendulkar. Vinod Kambli up to some extent, but I don't know how many remember Praveen Amre. And he has not only coached only these three guys, he might have coached hundreds and thousands of people. But out of these, only 3 stars were there. And out of these, only 3 bright stars, one I can say is become a North Star. The reason, his ability to adapt to the situation. Whatever the situation, whatever the circumstances he got in his entire career, he has adapted to it. He started as a player in the middle order, then reach up to the on the starting batsman, the opening batsman. He became the captain of the team, not successful. Again, he started played. He played under much junior guy Dhoni when he becomes a world champion. So he has adapted his situations. He adapted to the environment where he become, and that's what he has created his own ladder. None of them was given a red carpet welcome. So remember, in this corporate world, there is no red carpet welcome, but it will welcome each and everybody whomsoever comes into this world. But you have to create your own steps. Now, moving, what the changes, what things you have to keep in mind when you are into this corporate world, what paradigm shift you have to bring. So the first paradigm shift, I call it a pay for your time. Like in college, in institution, when you are studying, you are paying for your time, means you are giving your time also, and you are paying for it also. It's not free anywhere, so you are paying for it. But the beauty of this corporate world, the first thing, you will get paid for your time. I think all love to get paid for their time, and if you're investing your time somewhere, you should earn as much as you want. So the best and the beauty of this corporate world, that you will get paid. That's the best part. Other thing is, come and gain value. Now, what do you do when you go to college or when you learn? You go there, you have these tremendous knowledgeable faculties which teach you, which guide you, which mentor you, and you are gaining value. So you are gaining value. So gain as much as value, as much as skill set you can gain over here, because in the corporate world, you have to go and create values. There, nobody will give you a time to learn the things. You have to go, and whatever you learned over here, that you have to just go and start putting into place. You have to create those values, and you have to always see why I'll say all this, to create values, because Steve Jobs, one of the pioneers and one of the greatest salesmen, I always call him one of the great inventors he was, but beyond that, he was the greatest salesman. He always said that, please hire a smartest guy than you. Don't hire the dumb people, hire the smart guy, and don't tell him what to do, because you are hiring him because he will tell what to do. And that's what corporate world needs from you. You have to go and tell them. So you have to find, and how you will tell them, unless until you are equipped with new current affairs, with new technology, what is going on. So in corporate world, the big paradigm shift is, you have to go and create value, led by instructions. Yes. So in your institutions, instructions are given by dean, by HODs, do this, don't do that, do this way, that way. But in corporate world, same thing is by influencing. So nobody will tell you the guided. There may be some guided principle, and those principles may be written, maybe unwritten principles may be there, but you will be led by influencing. Your managers, your HODs over there, head of departments over there, in whichever department you go, your CEOs, they are the influencer. They will lead you. Not only those people, but there will be some, your peers, your seniors will be there, who will be influencing you to lead. Now you have to, in that influence, you have to choose wisely, which you have to be get influenced, and which you have to leave apart. So something you have to take, something you have to leave, because you are being led by the influence. So these are the things you have to keep in mind when you go on. Finally, perfection through practice. Yes, you get a plenty of time to do practice. Means you do your assignments. If it is not up to the mark, it is not as per the desired result which you require, you can redo it again and again. So you had a plenty of time to practice, because it always says practice makes man's perfect. So the more you practice, the more you get, and that's what an institution. So you had a chance of making mistakes more and more. So the chance of more mistakes, more learning will come. But when you dive into the corporate jungle, you have to be first time right. Yeah, initially initially you may get some chances of making mistake, but not much. Remember, be the first time right, because as soon as you are start repeating the mistake, I'm mark my word, I'm using the word called repeating the mistake. So as soon as you start repeating the mistake, your credibility, your reliability will comes down. And when then comes down, people will not hand over you the new project, new assignments, new job. Your promotion can get hindrance. So it's about all impression, about how you impress yourself to your bosses, to your peers, to your group, because perceptions is more important. Though your work speaks, but perception, remember, the world is run by the perception. You may do a hard work, but if the perception is created wrong, then things may go wrong. So you have to be first time right. You can ask plenty of questions from your boss. Don't be scared of, because when somebody hand over the job, the problem comes, people don't ask questions, because we are in habit of somebody has to give instructions, do this, do that. No, in corporate world, do this, do that will be very limited, very limited. So sometimes you can't go and simply wait, okay, I didn't get the instruction, so I didn't start up, or somebody hadn't come in between and told me whether I was doing right or whether I was doing wrong. So you have to be taking initiative, and you have to ask those questions. You have to ask your peers that how I am doing. You have to ask your seniors. You have to ask your boss. Keep on going and asking them, so that you can become first time right. So don't afraid of asking. Important thing is, don't afraid of asking. Succeed individually, absolutely. So when you work in institution, when you are studying, it is succeeding, because you are writing your exams. It's not collaborative writing. So it's you're writing your exams and you are succeeding individually. But gears are changed when you're in the corporate. You have to succeed together. You have to work together, because that is what the collaborative effort. No one in the corporate world gets success alone. Success comes with people whom you are working, the people you're surrounding. They all are the part of your success. So you have to success together. So mind of teamwork, working together, is more in corporate world, and you have to seek. See, again, as I told you, nobody will come to you, but you have to go and create that collaborativeness amongst the team. So you have to be a team player. Finally, compete to win. Yes, that's what in when you work, or when you're going for any debate competition, elocution, or you're doing any project work, who get more marks. It's about winning, winning, winning. But here it is collaborate to win, because all different department put together works. Like if you see in any organization, if it is a manufacturing unit, there is a production team who produce the product, but there is a marketing team who creates the marketing, the campaign, the advertisement, so that it can people get aware about that product. On the other hand, sales team will go and sell that product, and once the order is there, then the dispatch team or the warehouse team, the supply team, chain management team will come and ship that product. So it's a collaborative effort. Nobody is individual over there. It is a collaborative effort when you winning. So you can't say, okay, I'm in a supply chain, I'm a production guy, I produce my product, a very good quality product, my job is over. No, unless and until that product gets sold in the market, your job is not over. And that's what I call it's a collaborative winning. So gearing up for the corporate world. Then results in parts. Yes, you have different semesters. You give the exams for different semesters.
Sir,
You have, yeah,
sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sir, I think the slides are not moving.
okay. I'll just move them slowly. You are on which slide you are as of now?
Sir, still it is on the first slide only.
Okay, let me again reshare it. Let me again, I'll stop sharing. Is it not moving for all, or is it not moving for one? Can
For all,
somebody,
sir. We can't
for
see the
all?
slides.
Okay, thank you, thank you. I'll just reshare it. I'll reshare it. Uh, Now, are you able to see the slide?
Yeah, sir. Gearing up for corporate, that slide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
thank you, sir.
now is it moving? Now you can see different.
Sir, now it's an 11th slide.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Gearing up for
uh,
corporate.
no. Gearing up of corporate is the heading, but can you see that images? Can you see other things in that slide?
Yeah, sir, we can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So if anything is not working, thank you for giving me a feedback. Please keep on giving me a feedback. I think there'll be some network issue because I don't know. So we were here results in parts. So when you work, you have a semesters, you have a project, you get a different results. But yes, in corporate, it's not in parts. It is a full time. Means your when we call it an appraisal cycle. So it depends on company to company when the appraisal cycle starts. But appraisal cycle is yearly basis. So that's called a full time and one time things which go when you get a results. And finally, planned growth. So growth is planned when you as of now, but when you come into the corporate world, growth is dynamic and vague. Now, when I say dynamic means you can move faster also, but sometimes if you are not willing to give something new, you're not creating something new, you're not creative, you're not innovative, you can have stagnancy also. So it is both. It's very dynamic and it's very stagnant also. Again, it depends on a person to person how you shape your career, how you get or acquired new skills to move on. So that's what about how to gearing up for corporate. So quickly, I will now share you the 7 tips. Now, are you on the second slide? 7 tips for to help you to get a job in the tough times.
No, sir, not yet.
Okay, so I think again there is some issue. I'll just wait for a moment. If it is doesn't appear, just let me know. Then I'll go have to reshare it again. Has it came or no?
No, sir.
Okay. I do not know why it is happening. Now you can see?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So these are the quick 7 tips for getting a job into a tough time. Number one tip, I'll say, be clear about what you want to pursue. So from here onwards, you have to be clear which stream you want to go on. Supply chain management, sales and marketing, finance, whatever it is, human resource, whichever stream, you have to be clear. Because from here onwards, you have to be clear also in which industry you want to go. Now, this sometimes looks to be very Rohit. How can we plan which industry? Yes, this is a time where you have to think which industry, because according to that industry, you have to plan from right now. So, if you want to go to IT industry have their own norms, their own culture. You have to study about and you have to prepare yourself. If you want to go in manufacturing, then yes, you have to work about how manufacturing work. If you want to go into hospitality industry, you have to look about that. So you have to be very clear which industry, number one, first, which stream you want to pursue, then which industry you want to go and you want to get job over there, you start your profession over there, because according to it, you will prepare yourself for interview. And rightly said by Dr. Venkataman, you have to prepare yourself. And how you prepare yourself? By acquiring new knowledge, by going to seminar, reading books. And nowadays there are so many things you can learn on. It's YouTube is full of very informative, knowledgeable videos. So if you know in which industry you are going on, it is easily to find out and learn from there. That's a plenty of learning material is available nowadays. Make a use of that. Work on your multiple skills. So don't stick to your skills, but learn different kinds of skills in which corporate world require. Not only the technical part, but the soft skills part also. Because I'll tell you, if you want to grow in a corporate world, technical skill is a starting point. It can give you a job, but your success in the corporate world depends on your soft skill. Are you a dynamic leader? Are you a good communicator? Are you a good presenter? Are you a good decision maker? Can you convince others? That will help you, that will make you. So learn those skills. Have a strong network. Networking skills is the key. And also, I'll just to share you one important thing. Networking skills. Nowadays, we always network on social media, Instagram. We also, network on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, so many things. So since you are in B grade school, I know that you might have created your LinkedIn profile. If not, please do create, because that is where the starting point in the professional world. LinkedIn is the most professional site, and for especially for B2B or for anyone, the professional site. I think some people call it a Facebook of professionals. Yes, and that is there. And one word of caution to all of you: your personality is what you are and what you do on social media. Your personality is what you are and what you do on social media. So remember, whatever you are putting up in social media, you should be very cautiously doing that. Because nowadays, recruitment companies and especially recruitment managers, when you are get selected, like they verify your background, they do reference check and all that stuff. Nowadays, people have started doing your social media check also. And if they found anything which is not appropriate as per their values and the culture of their organization, you might not be knowing that you will not be asked for interview, or you can't move on that. And sometimes people feel, why it is so? I am so qualified, I have cleared an interview, I didn't get a job. Something they might not know. So in social media, you should be look highly mature. That's the only word of caution. Always be willing to give more than that you get. So the more you give, you always be taking initiative, you will be always loved in the corporate world. Be a team player. So we have discussed all about it. And finally, self-driven and energetic. Nobody is there to push you. Like nowadays, your families might be pushing you, or on your school days, family might be pushing, go study, you want to get good marks. Then you come to institution, your teachers, your mentors, your faculties are behind you, please study, because that's will make things. But when you go in the corporate world, nobody is there to push you. Sometimes people think it is relieved, but that push is always required, because as soon as your push is moved, you are a bit relaxed, you will not learn or not acquire new skills. Your initiative will go down. And when those things goes down, what will happen? When the negativity surrounds you, because when people will not help you and the things not moves in the direction which you like, you may feel frustrated. So you should be self-driven and energetic to move on. So these are my quick 7 tips for getting a job and getting for the corporate world. Now let's dive into the next section, what we call it, why sales and marketing. So I should move on. Can you able to see the slide? Otherwise I have to again stop share and redo.
No, sir.
Okay. So I think this is what is happening. I do not know, but okay, I have to do it again and again in that case. Let me start showing instead of window. Let me show in a tab if I can do that. No, in tab it is not showing. Okay. Now you are able to see my entire screen. Is that?
No, sir. Yeah, sir.
Okay.
Now we can see.
Just a bit. Preparing for the presentation, they're saying. So now you can see the presentation.
Yeah, sir. The current reality.
Yes, the current reality. Okay. Because I've changed, instead of doing in the windows, I've shared my entire screen. Let me see if it works. So this is the current reality. We are in the lockdown, and everywhere in the world, everywhere in India, we are facing this. So these are the certain slides I show you. It's not to scare, just to show you what the reality is. Yes, this coronavirus, this pandemic has hit us very badly, and especially in India, lots of hue and cries all over there. Surely the economy is great in impact, and we are losing, yes, many things, not only lives, but we are losing jobs and many things. So this is the current reality. So can you see this slide on business today? Are you able to see right now?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, so now this is moving, just to check it. So So business today, the World Bank says, yes, it will be a very harsh year for everyone else, one of the worst year. So don't worry about it. This is a part and parcel of the life. But the reality is, in the world, state of economy is going down and down. Now somebody has to save this economy. Somebody has to come, because this pandemic has created an havoc. People are not able to do the business and the economy. Somebody has to come and save this economy. Somebody has to make it so that it's not go further down. Somebody has to again start pulling it up. And who will be doing that? I call these heroes, and these are sales superheroes. Yes, the economy will come back to its trend. And who will do it? These are the people. I always salute them, and these are the sales heroes. Now you will debate with me, why Rohit sales heroes only? Why not others? Guys, your economy is dependent. The wheel of economy is purely dependent on sales. Look around, read around. If there is no sales, nothing will happen. You can have a wonderful, fantastic technical product, but if that product doesn't sell in the market, what you will do with that product? You have created a new product. If it is not produced, if it is not sold, what you will do in the market? And that's why sales is the one of the oldest profession. Remember, sales is one of the oldest profession in the world, which is there and it will exist. There, it won't go. There are many profession which came and which went off, but sales is the only profession which will remain till the human lives are there. So that's the profession, because economy depends on it. Look around yourself, and it is the only profession which is recession proof. Every profession is hit by the recession. You talk about any damn profession. You talk about in production, you talk about in finance, you talk about in supply chain, you talk about IT coding. You think of any profession. All profession now and then are hit by recession. The only profession which is intact, which is recession proof, is sales. Nobody can touch sales, because they know if they touch sales, entire economy, before that the company will collapse. So that's why I always say sales and marketing comes always with a flying color. Now there are certain myths about sales. Before that, why sales? Because everyone is selling. Everyone in the world is selling. Whether they are doctors, irrespective to their professions, doctors, lawyers, nurse, engineers, entrepreneurs, whatever, whoever you are into sales. Whatever you do is sales, because sales is influencing someone. If you are good in influencing, if you learn the art of influencing, you are selling. And that's why I say everybody is selling. Everybody is selling. When you go for tomorrow, if you go for an interview, what you are doing? You are selling yourself to the recruiter so that they can hire you. That is also selling. You are asking your parents to buy a new watch or new item for you. What you are doing? You are selling. That's why I always call, we are all born salesmen. But the thing is, we don't look it into from that lenses. The only thing we have to start looking into that lenses. Tomorrow, if you join any corporate, maybe any function, you may join HR, you may join in production, you may join in R&D, you may join in marketing, whatever it is, whatever function you may join. But to grow in that function, you have to sell. Because if you want to get a new project from your bosses, whatever the project comes to your department, if you want to grab that project, you have to prove yourself in front of your boss. And as soon as you start proving yourself in front of your bosses, that is selling. When you're doing your performance review, you want to have more appraisals, you are selling yourself. When you are doing, the oral interview or the oral, what we call a viva, the viva voice, when you do an examination, the oral examination, what you're doing, you're proving yourself that you are more competent, you are a good communicator, you can communicate well. What you're doing, you're selling to get marks. Everyone in the world is selling, and we all are born salesmen. The only thing, some are trained, most of them are untrained. So if you are trained, you are a good salesman. you come with the flying colors. You are untrained salesman, you will struggle, but still you can come up, because that's on the job you will learn. So what are the certain myths on sales? I just want to remove. Now we talk about sales and marketing. Now sales and marketing go hand in hand. Marketing is a broader aspect. Marketing is a broader aspect. Sales is one of the subset of the marketing, you can call. On the other hand, you can call marketing as creating an awareness of, yes, we have this product or there is a problem arise, that's called marketing. But actually when the transaction is happening, that is what the sales is. So if you want to go into become a good marketeer also in future, but you have to start with sales, because if you don't know sales, it becomes difficult to become a good marketeer or brand manager. So sales is an starting point. And if you start with sales, tomorrow after, let's say 4 or 5 years, if you want to shift to any other profession, you can do it, and you can very well do it. There is no doubt in that. But if you start from any other profession, then if you want to come in sales, then it becomes big typical. Like I started my profession into sales. After 10 years of my working as a hardcore salesman, I was a L&D head for an organization. For next 10 years of my life, I was a sales trainer. I was a leadership trainer in an organization. But if I would have done it other way around, it would have not been possible. And with the sales, I have an handy of working with the entire department. With one of the, let's say with other stream, you are restricted to one department. But when you work in sales, you are connected to entire organization, not only organization, but others also. But before that, quickly with myths. So what are the myths? Number one myth, sales is a number game. Sales is about target. People worried about, okay, if I miss my target, I miss my lose my job and all that. No, guys. Every job, every profession has a target. If you are in production, you have a productivity target. If you are in R&D, you have a milestone to achieve those when you are inventing or creating a new product. So in any job, if you are in HR also, there is a target. If you are in HR recruitment, if you are recruiting officer or recruiting manager, then again you have a target. How many people did you recruit? If you are in L&D, then how many people you get trained? What is your evaluation after the training? So every job, every profession has a number game. So it's only a myth that sales is a number game. Every profession is a number game, because as soon as you enter the corporate world, everything get measured. So number one myth, sales is not a number game. Yes, numbers are attached, but they are lovable numbers. Sales is a no, my God. So people get rejected, people hate salesman, and we are always, worried about people saying, no, I don't know to talk to you because you are a pushy salesman. Guys, this is one of the biggest myth. Because before sales, we have heard no so many times. So there is a research which talks about an average child of 4 years have heard no 400 times. An average child of 4 years have heard no 400 times. By the time they are 5, they have heard no almost 200,000 times. By the time you become teenager, the numbers goes in lakhs. It's about 4 lakhs times you have heard no. So before entering the sales profession, we are in habit of hearing no from others, from parents, from peers, from friends, and so on and so on. By the time we grow up as an adult, we always heard one word more than yes is no. Now, when you have heard so much no, why we are so scared about hearing no from our clients? So you would think that we would be used for hearing word no? Yes, but you will love when your clients say yes to you when you sell something. So don't fear about hearing no from your clients. It's not, because you have heard no before that lakhs and lakhs times before that. The other myth is sales are extrovert job. The people who are extrovert, who talk more, sales is that job. If that is the scene, then what about teachers? What about lawyers? What about doctors? What about production people? Everybody needs to speak. Everybody needs to talk. It's not only the sales guys. It's a myth. On the other hand, sales guys speak less than these professions. So sales is not only about extrovert. And as per my experience, I have seen people who are little bit submissive, those who are speak less are good salesmen than the people who talks more. Because when you speak less, you hear more about your customer and you can give them what they want. But if you speak more, it is just the opposite. So extroverts are, sales is not only for extroverts, sales is for everyone. Other thing people say is you have to sell anything who really do not want that to be pushy. No, sales is not about pushy. Sales is helping others. Selling is helping. People are having a problem and you are there to solve that problem, and that is what sales is about. It is the other people who have put up this profession as a bad name because of their bad practices, but that is not exactly the sales is. Sales is helping, and people who are in really sales are helping each others. Let's say you go to a shop and you are worried about, you want something good for your product. A salesman come and can ask you, yes sir, what do you want? And according to your need, he can give you a product exactly what you require on, because he understands your need. He knows what do you want. Let's take an example of mobile. Now if you want a mobile, what exactly do you want mobile for? You want a mobile only for talking, or you want a mobile for making a videos, or you want a mobile for taking a pictures, or you want a mobile for learnings, videos, and on streaming other things. So what is the purpose? If you tell the salesman, he will tell you what exactly need, and that what you search on Google or you search before buying any mobile. That can be helped with a help of a sales guys. These are only the back end support of creating all that wealth of knowledge behind it. So sales is not about just pushing the product. It is knowing and understanding the need. Some people says, guys, in this world of e-commerce, sales profession is dead. I'm telling you, no. The sales profession is rising and still rising. The reason is, nowadays information is in plenty, but that information is correct and valid, nobody knows. Because in social media there are so many things which are incorrect, which I'll say invalid. Just somebody just writes something and people start believing it, and same thing happened with some product and all that. So sales people are there. The only thing, the way we sell is changed now. Now the salespeople are the salespeople who have to have more knowledge about their product, more knowledge about the customers, and then they can sell. So e-commerce is not killing, rather than it is, I'll say, enhancing the role of the salespeople. And finally, salespeople are born, not made. This I also call, but yes, sales is a profession like any other performing arts, any other things which you have learned, like reading, writing, cycling, swimming, whatever the skills you have learned and developed, sales can also be learned. The only thing, you need to have a will to learn. You need to explore what is sales, and you have to will to learn. And that's why you have to learn. So go with the facts, but don't go with the myths in a mind about sales. Sales as a career, it's a very important. Now this what this a good cartoon talks about. So there is a communication going on in a management team. He says we have only two choices to work on. Either we create a good quality products or services, or hire a good new salesman. So remember, in management also think about good salesmen than the product and the services, because they know if they hire a good salesman, they can create awareness and they can sell the things. So sales career is always a flying career. Now certain things why sales career is more important, because it's high income potential. Yes, in other career, in other profession, income is limited because incentives are less in other career. Sales career is full of incentive. I remember when I was a sales guy, my incentives were more than my monthly income. That's what draw of income. Sales people can decide their take home, because when I say in other profession, when you join in HR, when you join in any other profession, your salary is limited because incentives are not over there, or maybe very less bonus. That's an yearly bonus. But when you join sales, there are monthly incentives. So you can know that, okay, this is my salary and these numbers of incentives I can earn. And that's what Glassdoor says. I hope that you guys know Glassdoor. If you don't know, you can search the Glassdoor. It is a site which talks about different companies, different profession and all that. And this says, yes, sales is one of the high income potential where you can learn apart from other things. Sales also give you the entrepreneur skills. Yes, tomorrow, if you want to start your own business, or if your parents have a business, if you want to continue in that business, and if you want to grow that business, sales is the thing which help you to do a structured wide growth in that business, and you can become an entrepreneur. Even after doing a profession for 5 years, 10 years, it's up to you when you want to start. You can start your own entrepreneurship, and that's only will come with the sales. Because one of the biggest reason why most of the startup fails, these startups have a very good domain knowledge. They have expertise in their product. But the problem comes when they are not able to sell to the product. Because with the technical knowledge, product does not sell. Product sells with the selling expertise. There are many good products which people have invented, but they died. The reason is they are not able to sell. Tomorrow you start your own startup, you need funding. For funding, you need to present to your funders, those who are investors. And if you are a sales guys, you can do that. So I can give you one. If you are not seeing, there is a series you can type in YouTube, that's called Shark Tank. Shark Tank is a business entrepreneurial series where all different kind of entrepreneurs with different ideas present to the businessmen, and you can learn from there how to present. So Shark Tank is one of the things which I always, recommend all sales people. I always recommend to all, students to go, and if you really want to watch something on YouTube, listen to Shark Tank, their episode. They are marvelous. They'll give you how to present. They will give you how to communicate. They will give you new ideas of entrepreneurship. Go and watch. Job security. Now people say, yes, as I told you, the things are not in good conditions. Economy is there. And this is one of the cartoon which came out that Indians are ready to pay 10% for their salary for job security. They say, cut my 10% for my salary, but give me a job. Sales people will never say it because they know their profession is recession proof. The last people to be fired from, a company is the salespeople. And if a company fire the salespeople, the company is going to close. A company cannot survive without sales guys. So they have to be. Now don't consider only the field salesperson. Now we have field salesperson, we have inside salesperson, we have a salesperson who is doing a job sitting on a laptop. All are sales job. So without salesperson, company cannot survive. So the biggest job security in any profession, if you have, that is the sales. Flexibility, yes. The only profession which gives you a flexibility in your work-life balance is sales. Because for any other job, you have to go log in, you have to go to the company at particular time, 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, whatever the time, and you have to be there. You can't skip. But the only thing without foundation of this, it is a sales. Because end of the day, sales people are known with the number of sales they have generated. It is not by the number of time they have spent in front of the computers. No, that is not they are measured for. So it gives you a liberty. You can do some of your other works, and you can be flexible as per your client meets and all that. So your work-life balance is more maintained in sales. You can work up till late night whenever your client is available. You can get up late in the morning, or you can start early, finish it early. Again, it depends on which industry you work, depends on what type of clients you have, but you have a plenty of flexibility in sales than other job, because other jobs are tight, 9 to 5, 10 to 6. That's what you can't do in that sales can give you. Continuous skill development. Yes, for the sales people, corporate also pump money. Sales people, corporate always want them to improve their skills. So whatever the seminars, whatever the education program, the global education programs are available, the best to the best trainings are available. First is given to the salespeople, then to the rest. Uh, it's not my hard words to any other profession, but that's the reality, because sales people are the people who bring money to the business. They are the one who bring money to the business, and anyone who brings money to the business, who is bringing money, is a blue-eyed boy, is a blue-eyed girl. It's a star. So you can become a star of an corporate in salespeople and get what you want. New, your sponsorship from the companies. Company gives so much of sponsorship to build their education. So that's also be a part of sales. And you can get mastering your skills like communication, creativity, persuasion. As I told you, these are the skill set which can master as a salespeople. You can master. Your company can, provide you best coaches around in salespeople, because you are the one who is bringing the money to the organization. Sales is the profession where the graph of growth is very steep. You can start with a sales coordinator or a sales man or a sales girl, but you can reach to a CEO. It is not to any other profession. You can join an HR and maximum you can reach to vice president HR, not beyond that. You can't become a CEO. There are very few, one or two exceptional cases of HR who has become a CEO of any company. You can join a production, you can become a head of production, but you can't become a CEO. You can become COO, but that is also one step down than CEO. You can join finance, you can become CFO of a company, but CFO is also one step hierarchical down than CEO. So you can never reach the top. CFO sometimes can become CEO, but again, those are very, very exceptional cases. But the only profession where you can become the top of the company is CEO in sales only. And these are the influencers, these are the people who have started their life as a salesperson, and they are now big entrepreneurs. You talk about Warren Buffett, you talk about CEO of Starbucks, you talk about Byju's Ravindran, you talk about Sachin Bansal of Flipkart. They've all started at sales guys some point of a time, junior guys, and now they are the top one funded on. And there is a report which says 20% of Fortune 500 CEOs have started their career in sales and marketing. So they have started from there at the bottom of the pyramid and they have reached to the top of the pyramid. That's only you can get it from sales and marketing, especially in sales. The last word, the ending slides, guys. I hope that you have played this Snakes and Ladder, one of the most popular game in our childhood. I still play with my kid right now. And the only thing which I learned from this game is this game has both the things. This game has obstacles where the snake bites and you come down. This game also have a ladder which can take you to the up. So if the snake bites you, those are the hindrance when you fall down. But there is a ladder which always keep you arising. And that's the hope, that I'll get a ladder and from 51 I will reach to 67. From 28 I will reach to 84. And that's the jump you will get when you want in the professional world. So only remember, never give up after a bite. Do not hesitate to seize a ladder when it is around the corner. Thank you very much for patience listening to me. If you want, you can follow me on any of the social medias like Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn. You just type Resilient Rohit. You can find me over there. I almost post 2 videos on my YouTube channel on sales and leadership skills. And if you want to develop those skills, you can just subscribe my channel, Resilient Rohit. Thank you very much. Now I'm just stopping sharing my slides. You can start questions. Now, Dice is yours.
Thank you so much, sir. It was interesting. Now the floor is open for Q&A.
Yep. I hope that I try to give more and more to you people. I don't want to, I haven't bored it. So before that I leave, I have a time. Can you just all of you extend your hand like this? Just extend your hand like this, straight, and put one thumb over the other. Just casually put one thumb over the other and just remove it. Remove it. Remove it. No fishing. No fishing. Remove it. Again, bring it closer. Again, bring it closer. Put the thumb one over it. Now you see, remember what thumb is coming over it. I think most of them, it is left thumb down and right thumb over the up. Whatever it is your thumb, I do not know. Now just remove it and just bring it back. Now do the reverse. The thumb which was up, now put it down, and the thumb which was down, put that thumb up. Yeah, some people are doing, some people are not doing, but still remember, do it. So it becomes a bit difficult. How do you finding this become a little bit uncomfortable than the other one? This is called paradigm shift, friends. We are always want to do a comfortable thing what we want. This is easier to come. When we close it, it's easier because that's my habit. I'm doing from last 30 years. I'm doing from last 25 years. But if you want to do it something different, you have to start practicing. And that is what life is about. Do something different. Thank you very much. You can ask questions.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Any questions?
Sir. Sir.
Yeah, please ask.
Sir, as a sales or marketing person, what are the basic skills which I would require to develop, and how can I develop those skills, sir?
Good. Thank you very much. It was a really good question. Now, for sales and marketing, you have to develop one important is called communication. You have to be good in communication. Second skills you have to develop on, you can say, I'll call it you can call it a teamwork, but I'll call it an interaction with others. So the more you are able to interact with others, because in sales you have to go and you have to meet others. So you can call it a interpersonal skills. So communication skills, interpersonal skills. Third is called time management skills. Now, because in sales or in any other job, you have to manage your time because you have to do multiple things, multiple tasks. So if you are not able to manage your time, you are not able to complete those things on time. So it's called a time management skills. Third and the last skill, fourth one. So one is communication, interpersonal skills, time management, and last is called, I'll call it that's not a skill, but that is called integrity. Integrity means doing something right when nobody is seeing you. That is called integrity. So develop that integrity, because most of the sales people are assumed or have perception from the society that sales people tell lies, sales people are cheaters. This is a perception which is developed in the society. So this integrity is one of the very important thing with the sales people should have, that don't tell lie, be honest to your customer or to everyone. If you develop these skills, you can come with a flying cars. And there are many other skills apart from this, but these are the 4 skills if you command, you can do. Now the second part was from where you can develop. You have to read books, guys. There, your teachers are there. Surely your faculties will tell you many things on about. There may be many programs are on different skill set, like for communication skills, for interpersonal skills. MMA is conducting many programs. There are many programs are available, or even you can learn by yourself. Books are available, like you can read a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I hope that's a very famous and very common book by Stephen Covey. There's a very thin book called How to Make Friends by Dale Carnegie. How to Influence People and Make Friends by Dale Carnegie. That's one of the very thin book and a very simple written English book. Very good book for sales, but it's for everybody, not only for sales. Anybody they can read. And YouTube is a plenty of videos, guys. Just type communication, how to improve my communication or communication skills. You get a plenty of video. Just see which one you would like. Just see one video a day. It's more than enough. Not more than that. And you have a plenty of time you can develop. That's it. Subscribe my channel. I always put at least 2 videos in a week. One on Monday, one on Friday. So it comes on one on sales, one on leadership skills and other things. You can learn from there also. That's how it is.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Yes, please.
So, you told that sales is like more of an influencing kind of thing, but
Yeah.
I believe that it is now has become a convincing way of selling.
Thank you very
Great
much for
convince.
asking. Thank you very much for asking this question and putting up this. This is one of the biggest myth when people come. Not only you, I've seen a seasoned salespeople who are 20, 25 years into the profession, not 1 year, 2 year. People of 20, 25 years into the profession also have a same myth that sales is convincing. Friends, sales is not convincing. Sales is influencing. You cannot sell a thing to a person who does not need it. And if you try to sell a thing to a person who does not need it, that is not selling, that is pushing the things. And that is what giving the bad name to a sales profession. And that's what I have, taken this oath to make this profession as a proud profession. I'm in a mission of helping more than 1 lakh salespeople in my whatever the time I left with, so that I can make this profession as a proud profession where people can love to be a part of this profession. So it's a biggest myth. It is not about convincing, it is about influencing. You have to understand the need of the customer, what exactly it wants. You can't push it. See, if a person is not hungry, you can't give him a food to eat. Simple like that. If you're not feeling hungry, you can't push him. Eat. No, my pizza is very good, eat my pizza. He said, no, I don't want to eat it, man. I'm not hungry. But still, if you're pushing, that is not sales at all. If I'm hungry, then I have to understand for what exactly you need, so that I can give you to eat. Do you like vada? Do you like burger? Do you like chapatis? Do you like rice sambar? What exactly your requirement is, and I can offer you. That is sales. Sales is not pushing what you have.
Yes, sir, but that's how the corporate works, really, right?
Not exactly. That's a myth. That's a myth. That's a myth.
Yes, I'm not completely saying that sales is the art of convincing, but now sales has evolved a bit, which is now marketing today, where the marketing influences the people or creating an awareness about the product or the services which they have to buy, and the sales team will make them buy. I mean, they'll generate customers or leads, and sales people convert them into consumers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I see that there is not kind of a bad influential thing happening over this convincing.
So see, convincing is something I'm just diverting, but when you learn what is sales and other things, sales is not convincing. Convincing
I'm not completely saying that it's convincing. It is a little bit of a convincing factor.
Convincing is about pushing things. Influencing about let people buy. Let people buy. It is not pushing. So when you buy something, that's also influencing. Cold call means to find what the need of the customer. Cold call does not mean to sell anything. Now what happened? That's what I'm saying, the bad name. You are getting a cold call from insurance company. You are getting a cold call from bank, credit cards. Yeah. These guys are not trained enough. They are not trained enough. These corporates are not putting money to train people, and when they are not trained, they try to close, and that's why people are getting pushback, saying that sales is about convincing. No, that is not doing the sales. These people are not helping sales, rather than putting the bad name of the sales.
So you won't call them the perfect salesman?
No, absolutely. They are not sales guys. They are all telecallers. I never call telecaller as a sales guy. No, sorry.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
As a salesperson, is it important to reduce cost or increase productivity? Which is more important?
It's not only for sales, for any profession, for any corporate, for any profession, it is good to improve productivity than reduce cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning.
I have a question. How sales have changed during COVID, especially in B2B sector?
Okay, so sales have changed drastically, not in COVID, but COVID has changed many things. Now, the one thing you can see, sales has changed because now you cannot go physically and meet your client. Okay, that's the big drastic change has come, because as per the traditional, sales people love to go meet their client face to face. Now, due to COVID, they are not able to go. The only thing is left with Zoom or any other platform apart from where they can do a video call, conferencing can do. Now, this is the art. When I say you have to update your skill, now everybody is not updated in the skill to get connected with their clients on Zoom call and other things. There are many things called, I call it a virtual etiquettes or virtual meeting etiquettes. So you have to upskill those things, how you can engage and all that. That's one part of the thing which has changed in COVID. The other thing which has changed in sales is earlier the client was completely dependent on salesperson for the information about the product or the company. But nowadays, in this information age, client already know more than you. So if, let's take an example, if you want to buy a mobile phone, you search here and there, you search, there are so many sites are available and you can get a review. Same thing is with the client. If client want to buy XYZ product, they already search. So sales people now have to, gear up their socks and have to build up more product knowledge than which is available on the internet or on the social media. So when they go and meet the client, they have to tell that things. Because if you are also saying the same thing which is available on the social media, which client already know, then how you are creating a difference? That's why if the sales people are not geared up, they are not getting a respect from the client. Client say, come on, yaar, I know all this thing. You tell me something different. Now sales people think, what should I tell them different? Because they themselves are not equipped. So you have to equip more than your client. Secondly, as I told you, everything which is on the social media is not correct. There's so many, miscommunication or so many fake things are spread across many things. People don't know about that. And when you search about it, when you are really equipped it, then only you can go and counter it. So again, updating yourself is very important in sales, and you have to update every day.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, a marketing person should be introvert or extrovert, sir?
See, introvert and extrovert is just a mind game, friend. Introvert and extrovert is just a mind game. Now, how I distinguish between introvert and extrovert, if you go deep into psychology, you will also come to know the same thing, because I have learned it. So I can, because earlier my thinking was also same. I think the people who speaks more are the extrovert, people who speak less are the introvert, but that's not the case. I distinguish between extrovert and introvert is, extrovert speaks then think, introvert are the people, they think first then they speak. So both are equal. You can be anyone to be in any kind of profession. The only thing, you have to adapt yourself according to you. I told you it's a jungle, survival for the fittest. So you have to adapt yourself. So if you are a more talker, you are more extrovert, you have to come down, because the more you talk will harm your customers. If you speak less, I'll say you have to start speaking more, understanding more, you will be successful.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, can you tell us about the scope of marketing with analytics?
Okay, analytics is something different. Analytics helps in marketing. So analytics, what you say analytics with marketing is not. Analytics helps in marketing. It's about data collection. It's about knowing many things. So that is there. It's a huge scope. And nowadays, your sales and marketing has become, I'll say, become both art and a science. So when you collect data, when you review that data, when you interpret that data from the analytics part, that becomes the science behind the sales. So that's how it is. It's always viewed. Sales is always come along with analytics, but nowadays so much, tools are available to do all these things. it becomes much easier to do that. Your CRM tool and all that will gather that things will come with that can help marketing to grow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But remember the two things important. If you are going into analytics, don't become only the analytics person, because when you join in any company as marketing analytics also, you will be just tied up with those Excel sheets. You will tied up with other types of analytics tools. That is not marketing, please. That is just playing with figures, getting it. It's just like one. Please don't take me otherwise, because I'm from the sales and marketing field. I call that kind of a job is called a clerical job. That is not marketing. You are just providing the data to the marketer, and marketer read that, interpret the data. That's all. So if you are thinking just going for analytics, then I'll say you have to combine with marketing. You learn analytics, come to sales and marketing. Just don't go for analytics. That is just simply sitting on a computer and doing a job. I'll say, I'm sorry to say, but the growth is very less in that. You can become maximum, you can become head of department of analytics. Hardly in marketing, how many analytics they will have? How many people? Hardly 2 or 3, not more than that. So the scope is very less. So don't think that analytics is a career. Sometime it is okay, but nowadays it is more popular, so people are rushing behind it. It can be lucrative in an initial phase, because okay, I have to sit in a AC chamber, just work on a computer, my job is done. But if you see in long run, that's not there. You can't become a CEO becoming an analytics. No. You can become a CEO and hire an analytical guy who can work for you. Simple.
Yes, sir. Sir, you said about sales is a subset of marketing.
Yeah.
So one can go for marketing or sales. Which one will be better, sir?
So you have to start with sales. You have to start with sales, and then you can jump to marketing, because whenever you see in an organization, the vice president, whatever the designation comes after some time, let's say on the hierarchy, after 2 or 3 hierarchies, there will be a common designation: sales and marketing vice president. You got my point? It is not only the marketing. So if you are in sales, you can become a marketing vice president. But if you are in marketing, if you go only along with marketing, again you will go to up to certain stage. You can become head of the marketing, but you can't become head of the sales. So again, you have to report to the person who is heading sales also.
Yes, sir. Sir, you also said about telecallers or not
sales
guys.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you explain it broadly, sir?
See, telecalling is about just, telecalling is about, again, if I say sales guys, though they say it's a sales job, but they are not trained guys who to do that. If you see, most of them are not trained enough how to do that calling and all that. And that's why I'll say that I don't consider them as a salesperson at all. But there are certain telecallers, means a cold call where company which are trained enough, like in B2B and other, there are many brand. They will not shoot a call like these telecallers. If you hear from any bank or the loan guy, they have a different way of calling. So they have a structured approach of working. So it's not like that all telecallers are there. There are telecallers who do B2B sales, like in software companies and all that. They also have a telecallers, but their way of telecalling is completely different than a telecaller in loan company or a credit card and all that. So that's a huge difference between them.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you.
Now I would like to call upon Akash Shakti, your first MBA, to deliver the vote of thanks.
A moment of gratitude makes a difference in your attitude. With the words of Bruce, I would like to convey my gratitude to our guest speaker of the day, Mr. Rohit Kashyap, founder of Dasha Learning Solution, consultant and coach. Thanks for accepting our invitation, sir, and gracing this occasion with your presence and wonderful thought-provoking speech. Your speech was knowledgeable and interesting, sir. I would like to thank you for spending your valuable time and enlightening us with your thoughts, sir. I would also like to thank Mr. Venkatraman, General Manager for MMA, for his valuable presence, our Secretary, Sri Ashok Kumar Mundraji, our Principal, Captain Dr. S. Santosh Babu, and also our beloved Director Ma'am, Dr. U. Amleshwari, for her guidance and moral support. I also extend my gratitude to thank our Madras Management Association for supporting us. I am happy to thank our faculty members for their extended support and assistance. Once again, I thank you all for your patience and cooperation. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And at last, I'll thank you all the participant, lovely audience. It was very engaging for you. I write very knowledgeable questions you have asked. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for pleasant listening for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, with your permission, can we just take a group picture?
Yeah, please.
Students, I would like to request you to switch on the camera. Please, everyone, come on video mode. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care.
Thank you, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.